உலகமெங்கும் வாழும் அனைத்து தமிழ் உறவுகளுக்கும் என்னுடைய இனிய தாய்த்திருநாள் நல்வாழ்த்துக்களை இந்த இடத்தில் நான் தெரிவித்துக் கொள்கிறேன். இன்றைய தினம் இந்த பாராளுமன்றத்திலிருந்து இந்த வாழ்த்து செய்தியை அனுப்புறதுக்கு எனக்கு சந்தர்ப்பம் கிடைத்ததையிட்டு மகிழ்ச்சி அடைகிறேன். I would like to congratulate the Canadian Tamil Congress for arranging this 14th annual Thai Pongal and Tamil Heritage Month celebrations, which is held virtually this year due to the pandemic that's affected the entire world. I would like to congratulate you for taking the initiative to arrange this event, even though it's a virtual event. I believe 2021 should be a great year for all Tamils around the world, especially for Tamils who live in Sri Lanka, especially in the north and the east. As we step into this new year, we should all be very hopeful that the struggle that has been fought, or the struggle that has been going on for nearly 72 years, where our forefathers, our brothers and sisters have even sacrificed their lives to make it a reality, the struggle to win this struggle will be taken forward with a lot of hope. And hope is something that we all need to have, and we should all hope and work towards a dignified solution for Tamils to live with dignity in this island nation. In no way should we feel as second-class citizens. This country belongs to Tamils as much as it belongs to any other ethnicity in this country. So we have submitted our proposals with regards to the new constitution as requested by the Sri Lankan government. The Tamil National Alliance as the Tamil National Alliance, we have submitted our proposals to the government, and I think that will be discussed further in the future. And also we are preparing ourselves to make submissions to the United Nations Human Rights Council for the year of 2021 as well, with regards to the human rights violations in the past and human rights violations that is currently happening in many different forms. But in this message today, I would like to primarily focus mainly on some of the burning issues that the Tamils in the north and the east face right now, along with the rest of the country in terms of economical struggles. The Tamils in the north and the east, as you're aware, has a lot of resources, has a lot of potential, which we have not explored and which we have not made use of. And that is mainly due to partially due to the civil war that was upon us. But now, however, we'd like to encourage people living in various countries, especially in Canada, where we have a large number of Tamils who live, Sri Lankan Tamils who live there. We would like to encourage you all to invest in Sri Lanka, and especially I would like to act as a bridge between the diaspora groups or individuals and bringing investments in Sri Lanka, because I think to take this struggle forward, we have tried to fight an armed struggle, and we have been struggling with a political struggle has been going on for 72 years, but at present there is another struggle that our people are an uphill challenge that our people are facing, which is the economical struggle. So we need to have our economies, our people need to have their economies in order, their finances in order. They need to have a livelihood, they need to have proper livelihood options. I mean, you know, for women-headed families and people who are affected by the war, we need to worry about their livelihood right now. So I think it's important that we bring in investment to create employment opportunities, and also we need to support our education system. You know, at one point, Tamils of this country were in very good positions in Sri Lanka. The Tamils were in high key positions in Sri Lanka, but however, in 2020, I think 2021, we are not where we were back in the day. So we have to increase our educational standards, and as even though the government is responsible for increasing the number of teachers and increasing infrastructure, I think if there's anyone in the diaspora or anyone in this world who would like to assist students to increase their potential capabilities or increase their opportunities by the form of contributing on behalf of their parents. You know, the government will develop infrastructure, the government will look at teachers, we hope, But however, some of the parents are still struggling to make ends meet, and even to buy their school shoes or their exercise books, or even some students even don't travel to school. I mean, don't attend school after a certain age because of the distance that they need to travel from their village to the school. So some students even have to travel nearly 20 kilometers up and down a day, and they have to walk this distance because there are no schools within their village. So there is the question of increasing the number of schools is not an option, because we already have a large number of schools, because we have a large land mass in the north and east. So I think even if you all can contribute in some sort of way on this happy occasion, please take a minute to think about how you can make a difference in the lives of a student, a child, a mother, a father, a former someone who has fought the struggle. So think about how to, on this day, think about how you can make a difference in their lives. Sometimes a coffee that you might have a week, if you end up saving that money for a year, you can make a huge difference in someone's lives. In terms of sanitation, the needs are endless. And so in as a summary, I would again like to wish all of you I would like to wish all of you a happy Thai Pongal Day. And also, I would also like to congratulate Canadian Tamil Congress for organizing this event. And at the same time, I would like to say, think about how you can make a difference in Sri Lanka. You could be very fortunate today that you're in a foreign country, but think about your fellow brothers and sisters who live in Sri Lanka, and think about how you can make a difference. And I wish you all the very best, and I hope you would take some action to assist people in Sri Lanka as well. Nandri, Vanakkam.